Hi, FlossTube friends. This is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, at a little after 11:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you today with a FlossTube update. So, thank you very much for stopping in. This is my YouTube channel where I talk mostly about my love of cross stitch, but I also share some other hobbies that I have, including video games, board games, card games, crafts, other crafts I do, including diamond painting, and I also throw some other life events and stuff thrown in for good measure. So, thank you very much for stopping by. If you're a new watcher, I really appreciate you coming here. I really like meeting new friends here on YouTube, and I'm really glad you came. So thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for taking the time to come back and watch. I really enjoy my friends here on YouTube, and I'm really glad that you're here tonight. So thank you for coming. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're a great friend of mine, and I am just ever so glad that you're here and you continue to support me and to let me share with you my love of cross stitch and crafts and just life in general. So thank you very much for stopping by. If you haven't already, I encourage you to click the subscription button below and also click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. Recently, I've been doing this about once a month. So there may be times when I come to you a little more often in between, but yeah, so we'll see kind of where 2026 takes us. It seems to be so far that I'm doing this about once a month. So thank you very much for stopping by. Anyway, tonight's video is mostly about cross stitch, and um hopefully you will gain some stuff here or some inspiration and enabling to either start a new project or to just get enabled to try a new craft if you haven't cross stitched before. So thank you very much for stopping by. I know I've said that a little bit, but anyway, tonight I'm going to share with you a little bit of haul, and I'm also going to do some February statistics and some March plans. Um, and hopefully we will kind of get through this a little quickly. Lots of stuff going on. There's lots of stuff that's been happening with me. So I'm actually going to share a little bit of life with you right now. So bear with me just a minute as I share with you kind of some of the things that have been going on recently. So in the month of February, I actually had to have a an emergency root canal. My tooth over here on this side, um, I was at work one afternoon. I went to put in bear with me just a minute. I have to change something on my computer. Sorry about that. I actually had to change the screensaver on my computer to not go off after 60 seconds of being idle. It was kind of annoying me that about 5 times in that little intro it kept popping to my screensaver. So anyway, as I was saying, in February I was at work one day, I think the first or second week in February, and I went to chew on a piece of gum, and as soon as I put the gum in my mouth, I bit down and it crunched like a heavy duty crunch. Pulled out the piece of gum, looked down, and had 2/3 of my tooth was stuck to the gum. So I had a tooth that broke. So I called up my dentist that afternoon. They got me in the next morning and they recommended me for an orthodontist to have a root canal done. So I have had a root canal. I do have a temporary filling in the tooth here, and I go in on the 25th for my final crown. So that is something new. I don't remember in my last video if I talked about our friend John. Our friend John was diagnosed late last year with stage 4 colon cancer, and we went to see him at the end of January to visit with him one last time before he went into hospice care. Um, anyway, John ended up passing away in the first or second week in February, and our friend John's funeral was last Friday. My sister-in-law has been kind of taking care of his youngest daughter, who is a senior in high school this year, and been helping John with his end of life and healthcare navigation for the last 2 or 3 years, because he didn't really have anybody to help him. And she's known him for almost 45 years. So she was helping him kind of navigate all that, and she was his power of attorney and everything. So about 4 weeks ago, we were talking, and she had started funeral planning for him because she knew that his end time was coming at that point. And she had mentioned that getting somebody to perform the funeral service was going to cost her about $2,000. And that was money that she really didn't want to spend just for somebody to come up and speak a few words about John. So at dinner, I kind of piped up and said, well, if you'll just pay me gas and buy my lunch that day, I offered to do the funeral. And so she took me up on the offer. So 2 weekends ago, I sat down and wrote the memorial service. John ended up passing away. He passed away on Thursday or Friday. It was February 19th. It was Thursday, February 19th is when John passed away, and his funeral was this past Friday on the 27th. Down in Athens, Ohio. But anyway, so on the weekend of the 20th, I sat down and wrote my funeral talk and also the graveside service, because I was asked to do both the funeral at the funeral home and the graveside service for him. So that was really tough. I came up with a quite non-secular funeral service for John that wasn't actually terribly long. I think it took me about 20 to 25 minutes to read through it with a couple of poems that I selected and whatnot. John was in the Army, so he got full military honors, including the flag presentation to his mom, the 21 gun salute, and the playing of taps by the bugler that was present for the entire service. He had a military honor guard procession and escort from the funeral home to the gravesite, and we also had sheriffs on hand for security for the entire event. But I officiated my first and hopefully only funeral last week, and I'm really glad I was able to do that for our friend John. And also to kind of help out my sister-in-law, but I hopefully won't ever get to do it again. I managed to, I was really nervous because I'm not really a public speaker, so to speak. I do really good here on YouTube, but that's because I'm just talking to a camera. I'm actually not talking to people directly in front of me. And what made it kind of hard was during the funeral service in the funeral home, his 3 daughters were sitting in the front row. And of course, my sister-in-law was sitting behind them, and my sister-in-law was crying. His 3 daughters were crying. And at one point in time, I directed what I was saying directly to his 3 daughters. So I was looking right at them as they were quite literally just bawling their eyes out. And just to let them know that they were part of our village, and that my husband and I had pledged to their father that we would help take care of them as they started to navigate becoming adults and living life without their dad. So that was really touching. That was really nice. Everything went really well, but I probably won't ever perform another funeral. Unless I'm asked, I probably won't ever officiate another funeral. Because it was just really hard. And I don't really know that I would ever do a funeral for somebody I didn't know, just because I don't think it would be easy to relate to everybody that's there. And with talking, knowing John and talking during the funeral, I think it made the service a little more, I don't know, a little more memorable for the family. Because John wasn't necessarily religious, but he was in the army. His mom is pretty religious, attends church regularly and whatnot. And there were some things that his mom had asked for that we kind of provided to her. But I did not do formal prayer. I did not do anything like that. It was just kind of a non-secular service that I chose to go with, and I picked three three or four poems to read, two at the funeral service and two at the graveside, that I think were quite appropriate for the time. My graveside speech was only maybe 6 to 10 minutes tops, and then the military honors stepped in after that. So it was a nice service, but it was a really long day. My husband and I, we went down together, and we stayed the night, Thursday night, down there, so I wouldn't have a 2-hour drive before the funeral service on Friday morning. And we stayed overnight at in Athens, Ohio, where the funeral was, and got up that morning, had breakfast at the hotel, then drove over to the funeral home that was five minutes away from the hotel. Um, and then we were at the funeral home from about 9:45 that morning until uh, after after the funeral was over, and they they sealed the coffin. They put him in the hearse, and then we had the funeral procession out 20 miles or so out to the Hilltop Cemetery where he was buried and laid to rest. So we were there. We were probably there until about 5 p.m. after the graveside service and the luncheon that was at the community center afterwards was over. We didn't leave there until about 5 p.m. and then headed back home that afternoon. We were both really tired. I was really tired. It was hard. It was a long day for me. But yeah, anyway, so rest in peace, John. We're gonna miss you. Hopefully, we will take care of your daughters for you and just be there for you. Harvey is coming to say hi. Um, she is down here. Well, there went my screensaver again. You coming up? Are you coming up? Come on. Come on. So anyway, that was some interesting stuff. Also, my supervisor took another position and left our department the first week or so of February, and our kind of team lead guy kind of stepped up unwillingly into his position. So we've been kind of dealing with the adjustments there at work, and changes that are kind of coming through the pipe and whatnot. So we're all kind of adjusting. I still really hate the fact that I don't have an assigned desk at work. I think I've been in the desk that I've been choosing to sit at for several weeks now with the rest of my team. The last week, I think I've been at that desk twice because there's been somebody sitting at that desk, somebody different sitting at that desk several times throughout the week. So I've had to wander around the building finding another desk to sit at, which is not ideal. I don't like it. It's hard to plan for it. And because we don't have assigned seats, I have to pack everything up and take it home with me that I take into work and use at work. So that's kind of a pain as well, because then when I get to work, I have to unpack everything I use for the day and then pack it up at night and take it home with me. So it's a pain. I don't really like the whole situation and whatnot. So they're doing construction in our building. They've been doing construction in our building for the last 2 years almost. They're completely redoing the entire inside of our 3-story, like 6 football field building, large building. And they're just completely renovating it. So half the building is completely closed because they're redoing all the ductwork, all the electrical, and everything like that in the building. And we've been displaced to the side building on our campus. And we've been there since 2023. We were supposed to move back in there at the end of 2024. and we've been told that it's going to be late this year, possibly into next year, when we'll move back into the main building once the main construction is over. But this Friday, luckily, we get a work from home day because they are shutting down a good portion of the parking lot around the building at work. So, in order to alleviate a lot of the hassles with people trying to find parking and trying to walk longer distances to get to our building, um, they have allowed us to work from home Friday. So that is really good. I get a work from home day. Haven't had one of those in a little bit. So, lots of other stuff going on. Um, so my husband and my mom and I were kind of avid board gamers, and next week, starting on Wednesday, is Buckeye Game Fest, which is a local board game convention here in Columbus. I am volunteering as a library person and also a registration desk person for Buckeye Game Fest on Thursday and Friday next week to get in free. So my husband and I will be spending time downtown next weekend, starting Thursday morning and going until probably Saturday night. I don't think we'll be going down on Sunday, but we'll be playing board games with a bunch of friends and just kind of hanging out and just enjoying the weekend down there. And then the following week, that Wednesday, March 18th, that is a Wednesday, right? Wednesday, March 18th is my 55th birthday. I turned 55 this year, you guys. It's so exciting. I can't believe I'm eligible for retirement at work. It's really kind of scary. I am so blown away by the fact that I could actually retire, at least through work's eyes. I can't retire yet federally because I haven't hit 65, but it's really scary that I have enough years of service in at work that I can retire in this month, actually in 2 weeks. I can retire in 2 weeks. It's really kind of weird, kind of odd. So looking forward to that. It is also St. Patrick's Day in 2 weeks, so that will be kind of fun. And then yeah, not much going on until April. So coming up in April, last year I was participating in the Black Needle Society Stitching at Downton online stitching retreat. I had ordered the box last year and joined the retreat. I am a Downton Abbey fan, and I enjoyed the retreat so much that I purchased season 2 box, and the Stitching at Downton retreat for season 2 is coming up in April. So that is something coming up, and I'm looking forward to that as well. And then the first weekend in May, Mom and I are going to up near Youngstown, Ohio, to Niles, Ohio, for this Stitching in the Spring, or not Stitching in the Springs, for the Spring Stitch-In Retreat from the Pennsylvania, Ohio Facebook group. Their retreat is in May. Their spring retreat is in May this year because the hotel is still under renovation and it should finish up. Speaking of which, I actually have to get our hotel reservation for that set up. But anyway, that is coming up the first weekend in May. So we have lots of stuff coming up and lots of stuff going on. You can probably, I don't know if you can hear Harvey's purring, but she's laying on the table right here in front of me. So, not a whole lot going on other than just stuff. I have my Nintendo Switch 2 here. I have my Totoro skin on my Nintendo Switch 2. New game downloaded, ready to play. It's ready to play in about 15 minutes now when it hits midnight. But Pokemon Pokopia has released or is out now. I can't yet play it, but because it's not midnight here, but the official release date is March 5th, which happens in about 13 minutes. So I don't know if I'll be staying up late tonight to play Pokopia or not. I wasn't originally going to purchase the game, but I did purchase the game earlier today for pre-order on the Nintendo website, and I will be hopefully playing some Pokemon Pokopia on my Nintendo Switch. If you don't know, I have a couple of live streams where I've played some gaming on Twitch. I've been using my Twitch channel to hopefully do some gaming. I'd like to get more into game streaming eventually, and I have some new peripherals that I got for Christmas and whatnot that I am hoping to be able to game capture my Nintendo Switch and also play some Steam games on my PC for friends and just to get some new followers on Twitch. So I am hoping this year, one of my goals is to start streaming on Twitch so I can play games with some of my friends. So if you are interested, I will put my Twitch information down below so you can um, kind of go there and see what I'm doing game wise. I don't know how much of my gaming I will be adding to YouTube, but I am hoping to get into Twitch streaming for games more this year, including on the Switch, since I now have a Switch game capture card. So, that being said, let's get into some February statistics for cross stitch. So, with me just a minute. This. All right. So here is my monthly stitch tracker. So as you can see, this is the month of February here in the peak. And I had a lot of no stitching days in the month of February. February was kind of a lackluster stitching month for me. I stitched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days total in the month of February. So in those 6 days, I stitched a total of 554 stitches, which is less than 100 stitches a day. So I had less than 100 stitches a day stitching for the month of February. I worked on 2 projects. I worked on Grim Grinning Ghosts and the Silver Creek samplers. No, it wasn't Silver Creek. It's Cottage Garden Samplings, Bald Eagle. It was a Year in the Woods, Bald Eagle. So I worked on 2 projects for 554 stitches. The one that I worked on the most was the Bald Eagle for 294 stitches, and I worked on Grim Grinning Ghost for 260 stitches. So let me share with you those pieces now. So this first piece is Grim Grinning Ghost, which is a stitch along that was started. I don't remember how long ago it was started, but it is from a Facebook group that I was in where the person decided to do a stitch along based on the Haunted Mansion. And so she had developed a cross stitch piece based on the Haunted Mansion ride from Disneyland. And she charted out some of the rooms, and quite a few people in the group decided to fan change the rooms that she did to make them better and to change them around a little bit. So I know what rooms and what versions of the rooms I am doing, but I haven't worked on this in years. So this is the foyer, the main room, and in this section here is supposed to be one of the 4 stretching portraits from the stretching the elevator room in the Haunted Mansion. You know, you have the lady on the tightrope with the alligator in the water below her. This is the 3 men stacked up. I am doing the 1/1 version with all 4 stretching portraits in the foyer here as you walk in the front door. So that is the version I am doing. You can see my Hitchhiking Ghost needle minder, Ezra Gus, and I can't remember the other one's name, but this is a Hitchhiking Ghost needle minder that I purchased. I forget now where I purchased it from, but and I also don't remember the fabric that I have chosen, the hand-dyed fabric that I have chosen to do this on. I don't think I wrote it down anywhere, but anyway, I'm working on the this panel here, which is the three men on top of each other standing in the quicksand. So what I did was I brought this white frame down this way, and then I worked on the first head of the guy on the top. So that is where I got to on the Grim Grinny Ghost Cell. I will put the Facebook group information down below. So if you'd like to get the patterns for these, they're free. If you'd like to get the patterns for these, you can look in the files section of the Facebook group and pull down any of the files that you would like that were shared as part of the group. Did I write down information? No. Grim Grinny Ghost Cell. Nope, I didn't write down any information on this. So that is the first piece I worked on in the month of February. And then the only other piece I worked on in the month of February was the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods Bald Eagle. So this is the Cottage Garden Samplings Bald Eagle. Year in the Woods, number 7. I am doing this. I'm doing three of the months on fabric from Bee Stitch Me. Bee Stitch Me put out a set of 4 fabric colors for this pattern series when the pattern series first came out, and I bought the Bestitch Me fabric set. So this is on the Bestitch Me fabric. This is 40 count. Sorry, that was backwards. So what I worked on is I basically worked on these 3 trees here for the month of February. I got the 3 trees finished. Then of course this is the bald eagle tail. So you can kind of see bald eagle tail and the 3 trees. I have one more tree to the other side of the house, and then I'm going to work on the tall tree on the far right of the eagle. So far right of the eagle. So that is where I'm at, and that is all the progress I have made. This, the bald eagle was one of my Whipgo squares for February, and the Grim Grinning Ghost was my second January square. So I finished 2 Whipgo squares in February for my stitching projects. So, speaking of Whipgo, here is my current Whipgo board, as you can see here. So you can see I have 1 square for February in pink. Draw a BNS prompt card and stitch the prompt. So the 2 cards that I picked last month were model stitched 1/1 or a project with a candle. I still have not yet decided which project I'm going to stitch for that. But I did finish the 40 count plus project, so I did the bald eagle for the stitches. Then in March, this month, so we have square number 3, which is a project in the current season or spring, and square number 4, which is draw a BNS prompt card and stitch the prompt. So I am going to pull my Black Needle Society prompt cards, and we're going to see what my prompt is for the second square for March. So if you watched my pull for the February square, you know that I have these Black Needle Society vault cards. I just got my Snow Days box, which was the January box from Black Needle Society. And I got it in towards the end of January. I did an unboxing for it. But in the Snow Days box, there was this deck of 52 Snow Day activities cards. So I am going to use this deck only today, and we are going to shuffle and pick out my stitching prompt for the square, the second square for March, square number 4. So bear with me while I try and do this. You might be, I'll put the link to the Black Needle Society vault where you might be able to now find this deck of cards, this deck of prompt cards in their vault if they still have any left. You can't find the other two, the Hogwarts one and the one that I got a couple of years ago because they're no longer available. Um, but they're basically just different prompt cards that tell you what to stitch and whatnot. So I'm trying to get these shuffled up for you. Okay, so I think they're shuffled up. I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck. So we've cut the deck now. And this top card for you right here, 52 Snow Days Activities, I will flip it over. And it says, play a board game or video game. Well, I did that tonight. We played 2 games with Mom. So this is not really a stitching prompt, so I'm going to pick the next card. So the next card at the top, so there we go. It says, stitch on a project with yellow. So I have to stitch on a project that has yellow in it. Either fabric that has yellow or floss that is yellow. All right, so I am going to write that down. I gotta dig out my pen. Stitch on a project with yellow. All right, project. Right, so my BNS prompt card is a project with yellow. I still don't know what my square 3 project is going to be in the current season or spring. Technically, it's still winter. Spring comes March 20th. I don't know if I'm going to be stitching spring or if I'm going to be stitching winter yet. I have to look at my projects to see what piques my interest the most. But anyway, that is WIPGO. So I will be doing the 3 squares for WIPGO. I will be trying to concentrate on that. So I have a piece that is model stitched 1/1 or a project with a candle for this square in February. Then I have a spring or current season piece for square 3 for March. And then I have a project with yellow for square number 4 for WIPGO. I will also be working on my Stitcho board. This is by free cross stitch challenge group on Facebook. I will put their link as well. You can sign up to get her stitching challenge every month. She emails it to you. Or if you happen to buy their planner, you actually get these sheets for the entire year. But this is this month's Stitcho board, the different things that you get to stitch with. Look, down here it says stitch with yellow. Oops, right there, stitch with yellow down there. So I actually have a square in here I can complete by stitching my WIPGO square. So that'll be fun. All the ones in green are ones that I've stitched already. And I've only stitched one day so far this month. So, but I have completed all the ones in green so far. So you get different points on there for completing the different things on the board. 1 point if you complete the 4 corners, 2 points if you complete any line, 5 points if you complete the outer square, or 10 points if you complete the full board. You get points at the end of the month. And she does drawings at the end of the month for the points. And, your points give you drawing entries. The goal for the month for the creative stitch counting challenge is 5,000 stitches. I've done 220 some stitches, 229 stitches, I believe, so far, only on one day. So I have quite a ways to go to hit my 5,000 stitch goal. For each 1,000 stitches I do, I get extra points. So this is the points for that. The Magazine Monthly Challenge group, they have a monthly theme and monthly acrostic, and they also have a birthday theme and a birthday acrostic that you can use for your month. This is my birthday month, so I am just doing the birthday month Magazine Monthly Challenge theme and acrostic. So for the theme, it is stars. I am doing stained glass Hello Kitty for 200 stitches because it has stars in it. And then the acrostic is the word zodiac. So I worked on Wrapup Mermaid for Z, and I have the other projects worked out here for the rest of the month. So for the month of March, I'm working on Lavender and Orchid Colorful Bunnies. Square Dance. I Am a Custodian, which is the Black Needle Society Stitching at Downton piece. Coming up for April, I have to get some of that worked on before the April retreat. I'm working on Carolyn Manning's Aquamarine and Doreen Jones pattern. So those are the pieces that I have planned to work for the month besides Whipgo. Other than that, I really don't have much in the way of stitching planned. I have a couple of Facebook challenges, Facebook group challenges that I was originally signed up for that I'm kind of no longer really actively participating in. It's part of my Simplify for 2026. I have kind of cut back on even more stitching. So what I've shared with you here is pretty much kind of what I'm going to be kind of focusing on through the rest of the year. There is like some year-long challenges in the Magical Stitches group. We are reading Agatha Christie this year. Bear with me just a minute. I will be right back. All right, so thank you for bearing with me. I just wanted to get a couple of things for you and kind of talk to you about Magical Stitches. So as I said, we are reading Agatha Christie's novels for Magical Stitches, which is a Facebook cross-stitching challenge group where along with every year they pick a series of books to read, and then they have monthly and yearly stitching prompts and activities based on the series of books that we're reading. So the head person for the group has picked Agatha Christie. We are reading the Hercule Poirot books, and the first book, so we're reading the first 10 books in the Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot series, and the first book this month is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. So every year, usually what happens is sometime in November or December, the series of books is announced, and I add the first several books in the series to my Christmas list, and I get the books for Christmas. So my husband and mom bought me the first 3 books in the Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot series for Magical Stitches. And my husband actually also picked me up the Agatha Christie reading tracker book. It's a nice little book. I still have to fill it out, but it is a neat little book tracker and journal. So you can write down in it what books that you're reading. It has all of the Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot, Tommy and Tuppence books and stuff listed in the front, so you can mark off which ones you read. And it gives you little sheets that you can write your information about the books that you read in it. So I get to fill this book out as I go along and kind of keep this with me as I read. So the first book is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. Because they finished wrapping up last year's series, a series of unfortunate events books in January, they took February off and they started March with book 1. So we are only reading the first 10 books from this series. So the first book is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. The second book is The Murder on the Links. And the third book is Poirot Investigates. So we are reading, that is what we are reading. for magical stitches. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I have some hot coffee tonight. It's raining. So I will be stitching for magical stitches, the Hercule Poirot, and keeping track of this. So the other interesting thing about these that are going to be different, since these were written in the early 1900s, the writing style is a little different. I read like the first, I don't know, 5 or 6, 8 pages or so of the book into the first chapter, and the reading style is quite different than I'm used to. So I'm going to be keeping a book with me on the side of my bed with the pen and writing down words that I have to look up. So I am actually going to be expanding my vocabulary a little bit reading these books. So that should be kind of an interesting thing for this year. So I have to go back and reread some of this because there were some words that I came across that I didn't have a pen or paper to write down so I could look them up. So I have to actually do that with reread some of the pages. And then I have to get caught up because we are now officially the 5th day into the month of March, and I need to get this finished by the end of this month. So reading goals. I now have reading goals for 2026. So, one of the other books, I'm getting into books now. One of the other books that I picked up was The Baby Dragon Cafe. This is by A.T. Qureshi, The Baby Dragon Cafe. I've been into kind of just trying to expand my reading. This is a kind of a not a paranormal romance, but I think it's like a fantasy romance. And there is the Baby Dragon Bakery and there's I think a third book in this series. So I will be getting into reading this series at some point. I have a couple other books, rather long list and growing list of TBR books. TBR is to be read. So I've been watching that. So there's some of the stuff that I will be getting into going forward, like the Agatha Christie books and the the Baby Dragon set of books. I have other books that I've picked up that I'm going to be getting into reading as well. So you may be hearing more about that as I go along. I am sort of keeping up with my brain dump book. This is just a graph paper composition notebook that I have changed the cover on, and I've added a bunch of stickers. And this is just a book that I write down thoughts. I keep it with me and do a little journaling. So I also have a monthly calendar that has a lot of stitching events in it, some game events and whatnot. This was February's month, and this is just a list of the stitching stuff that I was hoping to do in February. I also have book lists. This is book lists for books that I had heard about the beginning of the month. Notes about Nintendo games coming out, and just a brain dump journal. So this is just a brain dump. I keep this with me at work and generally with me at home around the house so I can sit and write down thoughts and feelings. Here is March's calendar. So it's still being filled out, but these are some of the stitching things that I have going on for the month. So I will be doing Whip Go squares 3 and 4 and square 22 for February. I have to write down the B&S prompt card in here. For Semi-Sane Stitchers, they are doing the Rainbow Connection and the March Focus. And also, because it's my month birthday, I have the 555 event going on that I have to pick my project for. So 555 in Semi-Sane Stitchers, you pick a project and you do 5 sets of 50 stitches for 5 entries into annual their annual prize giveaway at the end of the year. So I will be doing my 555 this month as well since it's my birthday month. Then the PA Ohio Stitchers, I am stitching for my Fraser Acres farm. I'm still stitching acres, tools, and building construction, and I'll be using the Wrapup Mermaid. I don't have her down here with me right now. Um, Carolyn Manning's Aquamarine and the Stained Glass Hello Kitty. Then for Whip Warriors, this is one of the groups that I think I'm kind of backing out of. I was stitching for the Ozabor stitching adventure. I was stitching a store. I did have a store, but I haven't opened my store yet, and I was supposed to open the store in January. Haven't opened my store yet because I haven't finished my first round of items to open my store with. And I honestly don't think I'm going to be continuing with that. So, I'm probably already technically removed from that, but they are doing the Survivor 50. Survivor on here in the United States is the Survivor number 50, and it's a lot of people that were on the previous 49 seasons of Survivor are coming back to play. And I have some stitching from the first week to catch up with, quite a lot actually, and also the episode that aired tonight. I'm going to have stitching to catch up on that. So I may be doing the Survivor 50 challenge for Whip Warriors. Then for Magical Stitches, I will be doing the stitching prompts probably for the first Hercule Poirot book from Agatha Christie. Pop culture stitching challenges, I'm going to be doing How Many and Scavenger Hunt. Grace Notes Fabrics, they are doing a Stitch Your Adventure Park adventure. So I just finished my season pass to Walt Disney World. So I will be hopefully stitching for going on rides and doing stuff coming up soon. There is a flower and garden festival event that goes from now until June that I'll probably be stitching for in that group as well. For Magic Stitchdom, which is where you're stitching your amusement park, I will be doing the Pixar posters, which is their annual stitching event. Then Full Coverage Fanatics, I am doing the longest novel using the Wrapup Mermaid. And then, so Magazine Monthly, I will be doing the birthday theme and acrostic. They have Springo coming up, which is another bingo type game. I'm probably not playing in that. And I don't know how many of the themes and acrostics I will be doing for the rest of the year in Magazine Monthly Challenge, but we shall see. And then crafts and books. I will hopefully also be reading more books for Crafts and Books, which is another Facebook group. And their acrostic this month is Daffodil. I don't know if I will be stitching for Daffodil. But anyway, so there is Black Needle Society. They also have a book, a monthly book thing. They are reading The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I read the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I finished that up last month. I really like that book. So I may actually join the Books with Black Needle Society reading this month and also try and read The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Crafts and Books, they're reading, this is a classics month. They're reading The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. So I don't know if I'll be reading The Secret Garden or not, but that is Crafts and Books. They're doing classics this month. Where I live here in Columbus, we have a little book club. They are reading Babel by R.F. Kuang, Q-U-A-N-G, and they're gathering March 28th for that. So I don't know if I'll be reading that book or not. It's on my potential to be read list. And then, of course, Magical Stitches is The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie. And then Primrose Cottage, they're doing Books and Bobbins. They are doing Beach Read by Emily Henry. And they are having a YouTube live on March 17th. So that book is Beach Read. So the only other book I may actually be picking up this month is The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, because I read the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I really, really liked it. It was a good book. I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, that is what I have so far. And so that is what I have for reading. I had mentioned that some of the games that I just downloaded And I will start, I don't know if I'll start it tonight before bed, but I will be starting Pokemon Pokopia. I'm also playing Heartopia, which is a mobile game and also on, it's not on Steam, but it is a PC game that I've been playing on PC. I refuse to download it on mobile because I don't want to be tempted to play it at work. And I've also been playing Dinkum and Palia, although Palia is kind of on the back burner now, and so is Dinkum. I also have Fantasy Life that I've been playing, and I've been wanting to get into Coral Island. And there's a couple other games that I will be getting into as well. Um, so be on the lookout for more information about my Twitch streaming because I'm hoping to get some Nintendo Switch streaming and also some other video game streaming going on if you're into that. And if you'd like to play, let me know. I do have a little bit of haul to share with you. So let me see if I can get this back up. Bear with me just a minute. All right, so I am back. So I am going to share with you a little bit of haul now. I'm going to first share with you a couple of digital patterns that I have picked up since my last video. So if you bear with me just a minute, let me pull this up for you. I have the first one is Whiskerkins Shamrock by Carolyn Manning Designs. It is this really cute kitty. She has some inexpensive patterns on her website. I believe this one was $2. So if you go to her website, she has some retiring patterns on there that I happened to pick up. So we have Whiskerkins Shamrock. I thought he was really cute. It's just really cute. It's going to be a really quick stitch too. So if I do stitch him, I'm going to be looking on her website for more of the Whiskerkins. Hopefully she still has some up on her website, but I'll be looking for more of her cats and probably do a standee for them. So that is that. Also from Carolyn Manning, we have the Winter Path Cross Stitch Quilt Collection. This was really pretty. The colors stuck out for me. So I downloaded this. I think this one was only $3 on her website. So I got this. And then the last one I got from her is the Broken Star Collection Ice. The aquamarine pattern that I will be stitching for the month of March is a very similar design. It is from the aquamarine one is from the Shooting Stars collection. This is called the Broken Star collection, but the pattern, the color palette really struck me really, really nicely with this as well. So I've been enjoying the Carolyn Manning stuff. Some of the other things that I picked up, I also, whoops, sorry about that, you guys. I also picked up the 32 Grumpy Catmas ornament cross stitch patterns. It's all of these little cross stitch Christmas cat patterns. This is from Raven Coven on Etsy. Raven Stitchcraft on Etsy. So this is the Etsy listing. You can get the entire set of the 32 Grumpy Catmas ornaments for $10.52 right now. It's 66% off. The sale ends March 14th. So if you go to Raven Stitchcraft on Etsy, you can get this whole set of ornaments. These ornaments are really, really cute. I don't know yet if I will be stitching many of them this year. Hopefully I will be getting to some of them this year. But they're just really, really kind of cute, and they're all black cats. So I thought they were really kind of cute. So that is what I have for you today. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I am in the Bee Stitch Me Fabric of the Month. We got the February Fabric of the Month most recently, and this one is I get the colorful fabric of the month. This one is 40 count Verdal even weave. So I really love the Bee Stitch Me 40 count fabrics on Verdal. This fabric is like stitching with butter. It is so lovely to stitch. I am doing the 40 count Bee Stitch Me Verdal with the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods. The Bald Eagle is on 40 count Verdal by Bee Stitch Me. The February the February color is called Toe Beans. And it is a very nice pink. I don't know if you're going to get the right color, but this fabric is beautiful. I really like this pink color. You're not going to get a true representation of the pink color here in the light that I have down here because it washes out, but very beautiful representation of the 40 count Verdal in toe beans. So that is the February fabric of the month. I'm really glad that I signed up for this fabric of the month, and I'm hoping to continue. So, live and die in LA. Live and die in LA, DYE. Live and die in LA. I've been picking up some of their flosses and some of their fabrics at some of the retreats that I've been to, mainly Stitching in the Springs here in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is coming up in November. I do have that. Live and Die in LA offered in February. They came up with a color set after the incidents happened in Minneapolis with ICE enforcement, and they were raising money for a group to send to a group that needed assistance with all the incidents happening in Minneapolis with customs enforcement, illegal customs enforcement, may I add. And they came up with a color set, and I ordered the fabric and the floss. So the set of colors, it's called Ice Out for obvious reasons. Very gorgeous color of blue, and it's a variegation. So there's light blue and dark blue and a little bit of a purplish blue in here, but very gorgeous color of blue called Ice Out. And then they had a corresponding fabric. I got the 40 count Verdal because I've been really loving 40 count Verdal. So this is also called Ice Out. Very beautiful blue fabric. And this is what the fabric looks like, the cut of fabric that I got. Look at that. It's beautiful, beautiful color of fabric. And so here is the thread on the fabric. So very nice, lovely, gorgeous set of fabric from Live and Die in LA. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I am loving the 40 count Verdal. Loving it. So glad to have this as part of my stash. So glad to have this as part of my stash. And that does it for my stash, which ultimately does it for this today's video. That is all I have to share with you for today's video. So I have shared a lot with you. I've shared some reading. I've shared some TBR, and whatnot. I have shared with you some cross stitching progress and also some planning progress for the month of March, as well as some events coming up and some haul. So I want to thank you so much for stopping by today and just being here with me and just being a friend and for sharing my love of cross stitch with me. So thank you, thank you, thank you again. Gonna hope to get in some punch needling this month as well. I am working on a pixels bookmark. This is the pixel stickers. So you take the gridded bookmark and you add the squared stickers, the sticker squares to it, and it makes a picture. I am working on this. It is the winter bookmark by Pixels. It's the winter bookmark by Pixels. I am working on that. And some other things. I also need to sit down and do some diamond painting. And also, I forgot to mention that On February 17th, my husband and I celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary, and we went to Hot Pot, a barbecue all-you-can-eat hot pot place on the 16th for our dinner, and then on the 17th for our anniversary, we went to the Draft Room, which is a local bar. The Draft Room here in Columbus, they have quarterly speed puzzling events. So we went and did a speed puzzle event on our anniversary. That was a lot of fun. The puzzle that we got was a White Mountain puzzle, and it was Ohio craft beers. So we actually did pretty okay. I think we got about maybe 2/3 of the puzzle completed during the event. So we're going to be sitting down at some point to work on the puzzle and get it finished at least once. So we have that to work on. I'd also like to get some diamond painting done this month. It really depends on how this month goes. Um, I didn't do a whole lot of other crafting in the month of February, obviously. And so far this month, it is now officially the 5th. I only have one stitching day in so far for this month. I'd like to get some more done. So we have a lot of games, a lot of board games, a lot of conventions, a lot of events, and just a lot of things going on in general. So hopefully I will be able to get some punch needling done, I'm hoping to get some finishing done. I'd like to get some things fully finished, and some diamond painting, some pixels, and just get some stuff knocked out. So that is everything I have for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for continuing to stop by and continuing to watch and leaving your comments and stuff. I really appreciate all that you share with me and letting me share with you everything that I love to do. So thank you very much. Again, I will put my Twitch information down below just in case you're interested in popping over and seeing what I am playing video game wise. Um, I still owe everybody a whip parade at some point in the next month or so. So, be on the lookout for that. It might be a couple of episode whip parade because I have 90 whips to show you now. Maybe 92 or 93 if I start a couple this month. Or I may have a birthday new start. So we shall see. Oh, also coming up in April, the WadoBiz pattern or kit that I received that I showed you in my last video, that stitch along is happening April 1st. It starts April 1st. So I did confirm with that that it is an April stitch along. So I will be stitching that starting sometime in April. So be on the lookout for more updates about that coming very soon. But I am hoping to maybe have a new birthday start for this month. So I don't know if it'll be a stamped birthday pattern. I don't know. So we shall see. I'll have a new start. So I do have a 90 whip parade to share with you, and I don't know if I will do a to be stitched before to be started before I die whip or stash dive for you. I don't know if I'll be doing one of those this year, but I also owe you a stash dive because I have a lot of stuff in my stash. It'll also kind of help me figure out what I'm gonna give away on the channel. So lots of stuff coming up for you. I started my channel in 2017, so my 10-year FlossTube anniversary is coming up next year in September. So I've got a lot of stuff coming up that I need to start thinking of for that. And yeah, my 55th birthday is in 2 weeks. And I didn't really plan on any special thing for that. I don't have a special, complete 50 and 55 by 55. I didn't have anything set up like that. So maybe I might do something like 56 and 56. I don't know, 56,000 for my 56th birthday. I don't know. We shall see. I have a couple weeks to figure that out if I want to try like a 56,000 stitches before my 56th birthday. So we shall see if I even try anything like that. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. Looking forward to being busy and just kind of moving forward, keeping my head up and keep moving forward because that's really all we can do. Unfortunately, the situation here in the United States is turning really, really bad. It's turning even worse than any of us could have possibly thought it could turn. So hopefully we can make some changes in the administration, like getting rid of the current administration. That would be my hope. And ushering in some change, some very, very badly needed change, very, very quickly, in fact. So, anyway, I hope that you're staying safe. I hope that if you have relatives in the military, that they're not being affected. I know gas prices are going up. No thanks to this administration. I know lots of things are happening. No thanks to this administration. So hopefully we can all just kind of help each other out and be there for each other and just give each other support, because something's got to give, and it shouldn't be any of us that have to give up. So, yeah. Anyway, take care, and until my next video, we will see you soon. Love one another, be there for each other, and we're all a village. It's going to take our village to get through everything that we have coming up. So let's just be there for each other. Love and support. Take care, everybody.